Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I have finally left Texas. You might think I spend way too much time in Texas every year. I do spend a lot of time in Texas. For one reason, that's my home base. And I've also made many more times more videos in Texas than any other state. And it's not because I'm here so much. It's because there is just so much to see in Texas. So much more than any other state. Well, now I'm moving into Louisiana, southern Louisiana, where I'm going to spend the whole winter, mostly in New Orleans, so I can go to Mardi Gras for the first time in my life. But before that, I'm going to spend some time more along the coast of Louisiana. And starting off with Rutherford Beach. And first I'm going to show you on the map just where I have recently been and where I'm going from here. I'm going to go as far back as when I was at Indianola Beach Park in mid-October. And I like it so much there, I'm thinking about making that my new winter home base and just do my traveling the other 9 months of the year. Just thinking about it. So from Indianola Beach, I went up to Tomball, northwest of Houston, where they have a free RV hookup park. I spent a week there, and while I was there, I went over to Hempstead, where I videoed the jet model aircraft. And then while I was there, I went over here where the funeral museum is and made that video. Then when I left Tomball, I went up to Livingston and then Askeela Gaming Casino. And then I went down to Beaumont, Port Arthur, Sea Rim State Park, and then went over to Holly Beach, Louisiana. Now let me zoom in there. Now Holly Beach is an interesting place. It's not a town, it's just a community. There is no businesses whatsoever, not even a little convenience grocery store, nothing. It's only residences, and about most of the residences are RV parks. People go there and spend their winter in the RV parks at Holly Beach, and there are just numerous RV parks, all with full hookups. But I could not find any public parking to boondock. I was hoping to do that and spend a night or two there, but you have to pay in one of the RV parks to stay there, and I just wasn't wanting the hookups at this time. So I just took a look around. And then my next stop was going to be Rutherford Beach, which was where I am right now. To get from Holly Beach over here to Rutherford Beach, you have to take a ferry across this canal right there. And I was here a few years ago, and I took my motorhome across the ferry. So I assumed I could do that again. But when I got there and started to load onto the ferry, they told me that the water level here was so low that I couldn't get onto the ferry. And I saw that ferry ramp that came up to a sharp angle, which would get stuck on the bottom of my motorhome. So I definitely could not take the ferry across there. And it's just like that sometimes. Obviously, it all depends on the water level here. If the water level rises from global warming, that's going to make this and many other ferries I've also been to, where the water level is too low. It would raise that water level and make the ferries a lot more useful. So what I had to do was come back to Holly Beach and then go up to St. Charles. to come down to Rutherford Beach because there are no bridges anywhere across the river here. Not a single bridge until you get to Lake Charles. And while I was there, I stopped by 2 really large casinos to see if they had some RV parking facilities, and they didn't. So I didn't even stop. Too bad. So from there, I went down to Rutherford Beach, which is about 40 miles south of Lake Charles. I hated to do all this to get across here, but that was my only choice. So now let's go outside and take a look at the beach. It is a pretty nice beach. A little bit better than the Texas beaches. It's a fairly wide beach and much wider right here where you pull in from the highway. There's where I'm parked, and look at this. I guess this is for the kids. You put your heads in there so you can have your picture taken like you're a real fish or an octopus. There's some other RVs down this other way, parked pretty close to the water. I'm always a little skittish about bringing my motorhome onto the beach. So afraid I'm gonna get it stuck. So I didn't go very far here. The paved road ends just before where that sign is. So I parked right here next to the porta potties and the trash cans. Not an ideal location, but I just didn't want to go any further. Right here you can see it's pretty thick sand. So I didn't want to end up having to call a wrecker to pull me out. It's late in the day here, so you see a nice glimmer on the water with the sun right there. It's kind of fluffy sand mixed in with a lot of crushed shell. Now when you get close to the water, it gets pretty muddy. Not too bad, you could easily walk on it, but it's not like the beaches of Florida. And it looks like high tide here from where the water level is now goes up no more than about 30 feet. And then above the beach is some dunes covered with vegetation. So above the beach, it's all this brush stuff there. I'm going to stay here at least 2 days. I don't like to stay very long at a beach at any one time for fear of getting too much salt up in the other underside of my motorhome and trying to wash it off. I don't even know if I could. Even at a self-service car wash, I think that would be very difficult to actually get rid of the sand underneath the RV. Now they have built up this rock barrier. It doesn't go all the way to the beach, but you can see it there, and there is a break right about here, right there. I'm not sure what the purpose of that rock buildup is, especially with the big hole in the middle. I really don't know what that is supposed to accomplish, and it's pretty far out from the coastline here. And way out there you can see several drilling platforms. I assume that's what they are. They're pretty far out, but there's at least a dozen of them that I can see from here. I'm into the water up to my knees, and it's not near as cold as I would expect this late in the year. So on a warm day, this would be fine to come in to cool off. The skies are perfectly clear, and it was kind of warm mid-afternoon today. Now it's pretty late in the day, so I don't want to go in up to my shoulders, but maybe tomorrow if it stays this warm. It is really nice here this time of the year. And I haven't seen any signs saying there's any fee to camp on the beach. So it's free camping. So the purpose of being here is just to spend a little time at the beach, camping on the beach, and camping for free. The closest town to the beach is Creole. It's a real small town, and there's not much here, as you can imagine. A little ways north, there's a country store there and a hardware store. And surprisingly, there is a hospital right there. And then off to the left is the larger town of Cameron. There's that doggone ferry right there. So there's a lot more services and things in the town of Cameron. But Creole doesn't seem to have much at all. There's a high school, a bird sanctuary, a rental shop, but that's it. If there's any other stores or businesses in Creole, it doesn't show up on the map. And when I came through there, coming to the beach, I really didn't see any stores or anything. So it looks like I'm not going to be going out to eat. Just that little country store is about it. There is a restaurant in Cameron called Anchors Up Grill, which is okay. I actually did eat there when I came through here a few years ago, but I am not going to be leaving the beach while I'm here. So when I leave here, I'm going to go check out another beach park here, and then going down to Grand Isle, Louisiana, where there is a state park on the beach, and then it's up to New Orleans. So that's where I'm going to be going next. Hope you follow me on this trip all the way to New Orleans, where I'm going to be staying for about 2 months to see Mardi Gras mainly, and then from there I'm off to my new spring and summer adventure. Hope you join me. Good day, folks.